go two different directions here with you so that depending on where your comfort zone is and what you're going for, hopefully we'll be able to see it on one eye or the other. Now, a lot of people have the Glam and the I Need a Nude. They're very, very popular. I tend to usually go for this, but since there are so many people that have picked this up this year, and I feel like it's kind of like the palette of the year, we're going to use this to lay down some frames. So this is the Victoria Beckham eyewear. There are a million stick eyeshadows out there. There's Bobbi Brown, Laura Mercier. I happen to really like this one. This is the color Trench. And what I like to do is definitely go in over here where I tend to have darkness. And I just want to lay down a little bit of this in here because it's darker. And I also feel like when this part of me has sparkle on it, it kind of looks crepey. And this will just let that not happen. It gives me like, you know, a no color color, but it's also kind of brightening. So I really like that. It comes in another color. This one is called Pecan. And instead of laying down a liner, we're going to use this on one eye. So what I'm going to do is just very sloppy, not caring a whole lot. I'm just going to kind of go up above my fold using this brown. Now, you don't have like forever. I do these one eye at a time. I am going to blend this out. I'm going to bring it up to my brow bone up here, which is like my fake crease. And I'm going to angle it out this way because I really like things to like go up and out. And I'm also going up here because this is where my fake crease is going to be when my eye is open. This part must show. And I'm just sort of laying this down. And you do, like I said, you get some where, you know, some wiggle room of how long you can play with it. But when it sets down, it sets down. And that, to me, is the best thing to use to frame the eye when you're doing a look like this. Even better than just laying down an eyeliner, which a lot of people do. I feel like maybe for makeup artists, that works for them. But when you see this, it's just easy. And once you've built this frame, you can put anything in it or on it that you want to. Now, in the event that you don't like this kind of thing, we'll go into the Natasha Denona. And I'm going to pick out a color. I think we're going to go with, we'll start with Mesh. This is a Singe Beauty E103. We're going to go into Mesh. And I will show you, see how this eye was like a snap? You can do the same kind of thing with eyeshadow, but I'm going to show you it takes a whole lot longer. You don't have, I mean, you have excellent staying power when it comes to those creams. With this, you're going to have to take your time a little bit, which is fine. We got plenty. And if you are doing a sparkly eye for the first time and you are not familiar with your sparkles, I recommend that you don't do your face makeup first, like I just did, because when the glitter gets on there, it's difficult to get off, but I will show you my little trick. So you can see I'm building up a really nice shape here, like this. And we kind of have the same idea here as we do over here. I might need to blow this out a little bit further because I do like to go up and out. This is up against that brow bone. And then on this side, I may need to take a little of this to just pull that out a little. The nice thing about setting up your eyes the same way each time and creating this, what I like to call frame, you can do anything you want after this. You can do the world. Any kind of sparkle, anything. All we are doing right now is creating a very natural looking shadow for everything else to sit with. I chose the Natasha Denona on this side because I get terrific fade when these start to go away. I don't mind the way my eye looks, and a lot of the time when I go to take off my eye makeup, when I've worn hers, is I'm like wasting makeup. This is so great. And you can also use, you know, a little eyeshadow on top of this to get exactly what shape you want. And I do recommend putting a little bit of powder over on top of these because it'll just make everything really easy to blend. But as you can see, we got to pretty much the same place. Just kind of deepening this. And I like to have everything go up and out. And I did put down that nude color, the nude for me, trench. You could, there is a color in here. And for me, this is close enough where I can this up in this area so that I have that great blend. It's really nice to have like a bulletproof kind of base to work from. Now, the really important thing is when you have hooded eyes or when you're starting to have mature eyes, I'm going to use the powder for this just because I think it'll be easier. When I open up my eyes really wide, I see like a big gap over here. So I literally need to like have my eyes wide open and go in and make sure that this crease that I've created, because my crease is really like all the way back here, it's not going to be seen unless I'm looking down. I just want to make sure that I've got enough coverage over here that it doesn't look weird. And I don't have as much of it on this side, but there is some. And I have my eye open, looking straight into the mirror, making sure that my frame comes up high enough. And you can, you know, tweak this as much as you want and wait until after you've put some of the other things on. We're going to do a couple different sparkly things on these eyes, and you can sort of play and decide where you would like to go with it. Okay, so we said we were going to start with I Need a Nude. So many to choose from. And you can kind of play with them a little bit and look and see what they look like on your hand. And this is one of the reasons why I like to work in very light layers. What we really want to do when we're doing kind of a dramatic eye, when we get to the mascara part, is this part over here. We want this to be nice and dark so that the lashes look really, really lush. And I'm not going to go in with the darkest one. I'm going to go in with Tender first. Tap off some of this. This is the Singe Beauty EO1. And I'm going to go in. Okay. Tap off. We're going slow. So we want to start right here. And we want to deepen this up. I am going to go into the darker color now. And I just kind of want to start to create that up and out shape with this darker color. And I am tapping because I just want to make sure that placement is good, but we'll be able to blend in a little bit. Right now, we're just working on getting that shape together. And we want to just build it up over here. You know, it's funny, eyeshadow, when you think about the word shadow, a lot of what you're creating to hold, you know, all of the sparkles and everything is this shadow. And it makes our eyes look more defined, bigger, more dramatic. And you can start to see we've got a nice gradient going up here. And don't worry, we can clean this up and we'll make it look sharper as we go. A little bit more. Just have that up and out going on over here. Okay. Generally, you want to blend that out with another color. Just a Natasha Denona brush. This is fine. I'm going to go into Stone and just kind of blend this line over here. Smoke this out this way so that there's nothing harsh about that whole situation. I am going to want to go underneath my eye. Start with Tender. And I want to just get it underneath here and make sure that we've got a nice connection here. And I'm only going about 1/3 of the way with that color. And I'm going to take the darker one now, just a very small amount. And make sure that the darkest part is behind those lashes. And then you can kind of pull it out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Fair and wipe it underneath this whole thing. A little bit of Mesh and a little bit of Tender. And it'll just be a nice gradient. And then I'm blending this out with the lightest shade. So you can see we're really starting to get like much more dramatic, much more up. And we've created a believable line over here. And it's okay that it's not perfect right now because I'm going to show you how to clean that up when we get to that part. We definitely have some nice depth going on. I'm just going to take my finger now, and one of my little tricks for getting things to blend in better where my eye is kind of falling down is to sort of go on top of it with a color that has some sparkle to it, shimmer of some kind. I'm just going to take a little bit of travertine. It just softens this whole situation that we have going here. Now we get to pick some glitters, and we don't have to just stick with this, but we're going to start with it. Okay, this is the Rougher 21 brush. It picks up any sparkle. We're going to stay kind of neutral on this eye and kind of go a little bit warmer like this palette goes. I'm going to take this color first called Whisper. And the name is very apropos, I think, because it is just about as soft as a whisper. And this will stay really nice and soft and just give you like that little hint underneath where you're going to be putting a whole bunch of your glitter. I like to make sure that it goes all the way to where the lashes meet here. And remember, if you want more intensity, you can also wet your brush, and I will show you that at some point. But right now, I'm really just wanting to build my base so that I can really go in and glitter myself up. This color Muse with the gold is very beautiful. Let's try some of that. Now, these are more shimmery and sparkly. I think that glitter is just not the right word for what we're doing. We're kind of creating sparkle right now. And you can see that this color Muse on top of Whisper in this center area is just gorgeous. And since I have a hooded eye, I want to go all the way to my real crease so that every time I blink, you know, some of the shadow is going to be going over here. We want to get way down by the lashes to put this color on. And then I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks. Now, this is the Urban Decay color is Midnight Cowboy. This is kind of a silver and gold mixture. I'm loving the sparkle that I have. I am going to add more to it, but I want to show you how cool this is in case you want to try it. This is so great for someone who has a hooded eye because you can do a very thin line going across and don't go down here. You can play with it when it's wet. It goes right up to your lash line, and so it catches the light. It's not like I want people to be like, oh, you've got glitter on. It's just that little added something that is going to give this some wow. Now, everybody's got sparkly shadows all over the place. You know, you have to just sort of take a look at what you have and find some good colors. Let's put a little nude dip on here just for fun because why not? I'm going to take this color and I'm just going to kind of tap and blend that into the other color of going all the way into here. What I'm going to want to do yet, but I'm going to want some kind of a satin color. Okay, I'm going to go into this color called Sheen, and I'm going to take the Sheen and just go right in here without going too far into this area. I'm liking it, so I'm going on top. Remember, we put the eye crayon. I want to lighten up this area, but I want to do it with very little texture. And this is like just the perfect kind of shimmer to do that. I'm going to take a small amount of this color Delilah right here, tap, and just try to get a little extra light, like right here. Okay, now what I'm feeling like is that we need to go deeper coming out. I'm gonna go into and deepen, like I told you, we want to keep this very smooth. And I'm using a shade that isn't completely matte, but it also isn't emphasizing texture. We are well on our way over here. Let's see if we can blend out this eye a little bit. I'm going to take this shade Fair, mix it with Mesh, just give everything a nice little blend. Smooth everything out. And this eye is just well on its way to going to a party, which I'm excited about. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to put mascara on this eye because I want to see how everything is sitting. And my most dramatic and fantastic mascara that I am into right now is the Victoria Beckham Vast Lash. There is a great one that people are using from YSL right now. You want something that's going to give you volume and length. This does that, and it's technically not a tubing formula, but it kind of is. A lot of people use waterproof on nights like this. I find that waterproof is so hard to get off. But if it's like for an event and you know that you're going to be doing stuff, I think it's great. Or use a tubing formula because it does not come off unless it gets wet. So right now I am massaging right at the base of my lash. And I'm wiggling and blinking through. Now this mascara doesn't give you a heck of a lot of time. You get some. What I'm trying to do is do much more drama going out this way. I kind of back comb the tops. With these, I did curl my lashes, guys, before I did my eyeshadow, but that is what I do. Otherwise, I wind up being in this situation where I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't do it. I like to see them curled before I start my eyeshadow, so I can see what we're working with that day. Like I said, you don't get a ton of playtime. You got to be ready to separate, pull things apart, have a spoolie ready. There we go. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing so that they stay up. Okay. Do the bottom. Now, for those of you who can't stand eyeliner in their waterline, you can skip this part. That's why I didn't do it first. Normally, I do this first. Okay, for me, with this kind of a look, the only color is black. And I like to build up the bottom of these lashes. It's like tight lining from the other side. I don't like doing the second, but I wanted to at least show you the difference that it makes when you do the tight lining. Okay, I'm going into this deep brown color, Silhouette, and I'm going to go right here behind these lashes and darken this up a little bit like that. And then I want to come down, make sure I've got definition here. And you can see why sometimes people say face makeup after your eyes because of the cleanup. I buy these from Ulta. They have like a point at one end and then they're like flat on the other. And I like to go sweep underneath here and really like make that line sharp by kind of pulling just a little bit. And really creating that very sharp line. You can use this side. And it pulls this whole thing that way, but without it being too harsh. But as you can see, like the two eyes look so different right now. And I'm really liking the way that this one is coming along. I'm going to take a little bit more of this and I'm going to go right at the lash line. Cool, right? I like it too. All right, let's do something colorful over here. So instead of using eyeliners to create the base, on this side we used the eyeshadow sticks. And to make it even more bulletproof, I'm going to go into a cream shadow. You can use any cream shadow that you want. This happens to be Violet Sateen from Tom Ford. Love this palette. It is just gorgeous. I really like to use my fingers with this formula. So I'm going to go into the lightest shade first. Take a look at what that looks like. It's just kind of, and I am going onto my mobile lid, but just in that beginning part. Okay, I'm going to take some of this beautiful star of the show, this like gorgeous purpley color, and I'm going to layer that up on here. Still on the mobile lid. What I'm trying to create is like a gradient where it's going from that lightest color to the deepest color. So next I'm going to go into that kind of cranberry shade. And I'm going to start to pull this up. But it's not going to be the one that's going to be super dark. I'm going to do that one next. And I'm going right behind where those lashes are. We stayed within that frame, but all of a sudden now we can make this really colorful. I'm just mixing together the two middle colors. Take the Singe Beauty EO4 with that darkest color. Go right here behind the lashes. Pull this up and out. I'm going to go underneath with this really pretty kind of light purpley color. Then right at the edge there, I'm going to take this little bit of the dark and a little bit of the berry color because these are going to be mixed together. Moving into a worker from, these brushes are so nice. This is a Sonia Tree. And I'm just trying to work this lower lash line situation for a very dramatic, colorful eye. I want to use silver on this side since we went gold on the other. So I'm going to my Victoria Beckham mirror. And I am going to use my finger. And I'm going to take that color right in the center here. Just to kind of put another kind of gradient, but with more sparkle right there. Okay, and now I'm going to go into Glitter Rock. This is a nice thin formula. This is one of the original OGs. It's got that pink sparkle. And I'm going to kind of bridge that one on top of these deeper shades over here. This is going to add sparkle. Now I'm going to use my secret weapon in silver to just do that line right at the edge. And I'm going right up to them. So I can let that dry a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have some fallout. I could probably have done my base second, but we will repair and we will rebuild. What I would like to do is just clean this up a teeny bit while we're waiting for that to dry all the way. I'm going to line this one first. Now, with this eye, awesome Rouge Noir. It's called the Stylo Ombre Contour from Chanel. And it is like a purple color that goes amazingly into the waterline and looks inky black when it's up here. So it really builds like a nice foundation. You'll see how much nicer the mascara goes on when you've done this. Just thinly taking it. So I wanted it to be thicker on this side. And I'm going to go in with the Vast Lash, whatever mascara that you're thinking of wearing. See, it's really definitely danked, but it really does do something. It gives it like a base to go on. Let's clean up a little bit while we're waiting. The first thing that I'm going to try to do is brush it away. Sometimes when people powder, they leave the powder on because if anything falls on the powder, you can just kind of like flick it away. But this is mascara, so we just have to like wait. Okay, the important thing right now that we're looking at is that we have built eyes. We have done a base. We did a color underneath to create shadow. We used a matte shadow on this side, and on this side we used the shadow sticks. We used from lightest to deepest, and we kept blending in between. Fingers are awesome. If you want to intensify, we're going to wet something so that you can see how much more oomph you can get out of it. I think we'll do it on this eye because I feel like this eye is really looking excellent. Now you can use these little things, or you can go in with a spoolie and remove any glitter or mascara that has fallen. Great little trick. Okay, so in looking at my eye right now, this side looks pretty much ready to go. And I'm going to take that lightest color. I just want to blend this out a little bit here. And then I also want to like hit right underneath the brow bone and even take it into here. This does not add texture because we put down that other shadow. But this really makes a beautiful highlight color. Make sure that when your eye is wide open that you're seeing dark where you're supposed to be seeing dark, and making sure that we're deep enough over here behind those thickest lashes. That's a really pretty eye. It's fun to be able to like move your eye and just catch the light with that just small amount of glitter when you have the hooded eyes. I'm actually going to pull out a teeny little bit of this color Onyx. This is Victoria's Black. And this color, I actually tap it on my hand because it will fall out, but I just want a little bit more intensity here. It's like you don't even notice that it's not purple. I just want it to be just a little bit more dramatic. And then we have like a really colorful look over here with cool tone purples. And then we've got this kind of brown sort of, I need a nude. What we could add to this one is some Space Cowboy, because this is one of the originals, easy to get. The liner that I put down is Space Cowboy. So this will actually be kind of fun on here. Let's get a little bit more glitter. I'm just going in the center of my eye so that it's like the bright spot. Now, if we wanted to accent one of these, what we can do is we can spray a brush and we can intensify the shadow. So I'm going to take a very, very tiny little brush and I'm going to spray it. And what happens is when you go into your palette, I'm going to take, I'll just take that. If we want to amp it up a little bit, you can wet it. Going into Mia. And it's just going to go on with more intensity. Like that. So you can get that to really show up just by wetting it. Okay, since we said we were going to go very gold, I am just going to take a little bit of this gold eyeshadow from Tom Ford, Golden Mink. Just going to add a little here so that it really starts to read warmer. And just kind of blur that so you get that more golden hue. I'm extremely excited about both of these looks. I think that they are both really beautiful. I think you get that glitter. I love the behind the lash trick. Now, you may want more glitter, and that is totally fine. Everybody, I mean, has where they're comfortable. The important thing to remember is that we worked in thin layers. We used fingers a lot because these shadows are tending to fall out because they're shimmers and glitters. And we built them slowly, and we did a nice gradient in color, and then we cleaned up on the outside so that we were still going up and out, and we blended everything so that there weren't like any crazy harsh lines of where the different colors were. And this is the kind of stuff where you have to like really stand back and take a look and see what works. Now, both of these, I would say, are very dramatic eyes. See how that's going to zhuzh with everything. Got the cool side. And we've got the warm side. But this is glitter. This is fun. This is shimmery, and you've got two different kinds of colors here. You can also, like, I was thinking about the Natasha Denona Xenon palette. What a perfect New Year's Eve palette. I mean, you can create a lot of fun drama. I'll just put like a teeny little bit on so you can see. Like, this is called Snowball. And if I put that here, how cool is that? I mean, you could build a whole eye look. This is like a perfect New Year's palette. This color, stellar. Wow. Right? So this is another good one. And then you can also like go into another palette like your Glam palette. If you feel like you want maybe a little bit of some like warmer pink over here, you can do that. There's no rules. Rules are out the window. Doesn't matter how old you are. Doesn't matter how young you are. You have to be happy. You have to be excited. You have to want to like do up your look when you have the opportunity to do it. Because there are just so few times now where we get a chance to like go and have some fun like this. Let's back you out a little bit. So this is one final look. And this is the other final look. I think both are really pretty. And I know that these are going to stay. And the reason why I know that is because we took the time to put the primer down. We used the Painterly paint pot. Then we went on one of the eyes with matte shadow and the other eye with an eyeshadow stick. And we built out the shading. And then we just added the color and the depth and the sparkle. And then you could put lashes on. I'm just not like a fake lash person, but this would be the time that I would maybe put like some individuals over here just to make it even more fanned out. These are really fun. I think you could have a great time going through your stuff and figuring out, you know, what you can possibly use to make a really exciting, fun eye. I do think that keeping the lip, maybe not Jokerish like I'm doing right now, but, you know, keeping the lip kind of in check when you've got a very dramatic eye. Sometimes I feel like I need more blush than this. I feel like my face kind of eats blush. Just gotta play. Gotta have fun. Other thing that you can do with these glitters, if you are inclined to want a glittery like center of your eye, you can glitter your finger and place the glitter where you want it to be. I just like that like little peekaboo that people get that I think is so pretty. And I just think it's kind of fun to do a crazy, fun makeup look for New Year's. I mean, if you can't do it on New Year's, you can't do it. So this is the final. Let me turn this up a little bit so you can really see the sparkle. Yeah. We are very sparkly. Okay. If you have any questions about anything, please feel free, holler, scream. If you're into duochromes, check out some Danessa Myricks. And literally, if you're not going to do a Pat McGrath color on New Year's, I don't know when you can. Let's take some of this crazy one. I mean, she's the queen for a reason, right? Let's take this gold one. Dig out your motherships, guys. Happy New Year, everybody. Happy and healthy. I wish all good things for you for 2024. Mwah. See you soon. Bye. Happy New Year. 2024, please be a good year. We really need one. And I don't know what else there is to say here other than have a great time.